book lovers, my name is Carrie and this is Spines and Spoilers. Today I want to do the mid-year freakout tag, which I have done before. I think I just want to make this a yearly thing every June or July. It was originally made by Earl Grey Books. I'll make sure to link them down below. It seems like I'm rushing. It's probably because I am. My spouse is out at the moment, but they're not going to be gone for much longer, so I'm just kind of trying to squeeze in a couple of videos when I can, because otherwise there's just not going to be a lot of filming this summer. This is why I started separating it into seasons, because during the months of like June and July I can't really record much of anything. I'm trying. I generally start my videos off with what I'm reading and what I'm drinking. Because of the fact though that I'm recording multiple videos, at this moment in time, I'm still reading The Kaiju Preservation Society and absolutely loving it. The next book that I'm going to start, though, is 19 Claws and a Blackbird by Augustina Basterrica. She's the same person who did Tender is the Flesh and The Unworthy, so I'm looking forward to this one. It's some short stories, which is new for her. And I'm drinking coffee with cream and sugar and nothing else. Number one is, what is the best book that you've read so far in 2025? And the answer to that is twofold, because I can't really pick one. They were both 5-star reads, I'm pretty sure. The first one is The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. I love the way that it was written. I love the insight into character's mind. I love the way the setting was described. The author had so much that they can do with it, and they did. They went for it. There's a lot more that they could have done, I suppose, but I still gave it 5 stars, so that should tell you something. It's really fucking good. I'm trying to cuss less. It's really dang good. Okay, I can't become that person either. I don't know, we're gonna have to find a medium ground. Other book, though, is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. This is my favorite of Grady Hendrix's books so far. I feel like I say that each year, and Grady Hendrix's books are just getting better and better as he goes. I think this one is also the longest of them. I loved the subject matter. I love some witchy stuff. I loved the setting, the plot, the characters, all of it. I'm waving my book around again because that's what I do when guarding Leviosa. I think of the two, though, this one probably had the most to say. But I would recommend either one, honestly, particularly if you like horror. Number 2 is, what is the best sequel that you've read so far in 2025? I would have to say probably Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I know it's technically a prequel, but I don't care. If you love the Hunger Games series and you're curious about Haymitch's Quarter Quell, then this is definitely a read for you. Number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to? For this one I said Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay McLeod Chapman. It sounds particularly interesting. It's a political horror, which I don't necessarily read a lot of, at least ones that specify that they are political horror. It sounds pretty interesting, though, and possibly important for this time period that we are living through. Number 4 is, what is your most anticipated read for the second half of the year? This one is also twofold. There is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. Don't know if I'm pronouncing the title of that book right, but I love that author and have basically decided that I'm going to read anything that she writes. Another book is With a Vengeance by Riley Sager. It's usually just a matter of guilty pleasure with his books, but this one sounds legitimately interesting because it sounds a lot like Murder on the Orient Express with some twists. Number 5 is, what has been your biggest disappointment so far this year? And for that one I have to say Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. It was not bad. To clarify, it was not a bad book. It was just not what I was expecting, and it was a bit of a disappointment. Still interesting, still good. I'm just not sure that I would recommend it. Maybe to people who specifically really enjoy Stephen Graham Jones' work. Otherwise, though, I was sadly disappointed. I was looking forward to this one. It unfortunately did not do it for me. Number 7 is, who is your new favorite author? And I actually have a lot of answers for this one. One of them is John Schalze. He writes a lot of comedy, like adventure comedy, I guess is how I would put it. He always takes the real world and puts a spin on it and makes it kind of silly, and I love that. The other one is actually behind me. It's Andy Pliaggio. I have only read You Are Fatally Invited. My boyfriend also got me this for my birthday, by the way. He actually got me both of these books. Yeah, this one had a twist on the typical thriller. It had a lot of tropes, but intentionally so. I loved how it played out, and I'm planning on rereading it soon. There's also Becky Chambers, who wrote A Psalm for the Wild Built, which is just a delightful little book. Do recommend. Her writing is beautiful. And then the last one is probably Chuck Wendig, who did A Staircase in the Woods. The Staircase in the Woods. But at any rate, I love his writing. Looking forward to reading more from him. Number 8 is Who is Your Newest Crush? I am demisexual. This basically doesn't apply to me. I'm gonna stick with Peter Mellick from The Hunger Games, and even that's kind of like a platonic thing because, I mean, he's just a baby. He's just a cinnamon roll. I love him. Number 9 is Who is Your New Favorite Character? And it's probably the cats and the dolphins from Starter Villain. Number 10 is What is a Book That Made You Cry? That is probably Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, or honestly any of the books in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. They always make me cry at least once. Number 11 is What is a Book That Made You Happy? And I'm also going to go with Starter Villain by John Schulte for this one. Super goofy, super interesting. I loved it from start to finish. Number 12 is What is the most beautiful book that you've received this year? And that is probably Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I really enjoy this cover. That being said, I like all of them so far. There's also 19 Claws and Blackbird, and... Okay, there's also the Kaiju Preservation Society, and You Are Fatally Invited. I think that's all the books that I've received this year. Am I bleeding? No, I'm not bleeding. Number 13 is What Books Do You Need to Read by the End of the Year? This one I am saying Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I have had this book for like 4 or 5 years at this point. It was actually a gift from someone who follows me on BookTube, and I feel so bad because I should have read this by now, but the fact is that I have to be in a certain mood to read science fiction. I'm really hoping that I can fall into that mood before the end of the year because I really want to read this book. I started it, I liked what I read of it. I fell out of my science fiction reading mood, like halfway through, I think. So yeah, I want to finally read this one. Number 14 is just Who is your favorite member of the book community? And that's probably just Alex Black. Honestly, I have lost touch with a lot of my bookish friends because I keep disappearing, and that's entirely on me. That is not on anyone else at all. There are a couple of other people who, like, we follow each other mutually, but we don't really talk outside of that. I hope no one takes offense to that. I still appreciate the connections that I do have. Alex is just the person that I talk to the most in the bookish community. And that is the end of my attempt at the mid-year freakout tag for 2025. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it more than you know. I hope that you guys are out there having a good summer. Hopefully you're able to get some sort of vacation if you actually like the heat. If you're like me though, try to stay inside as much as you can and stay cool. We're gonna get through this. Feel free to like and share and subscribe if you want to. If not, I don't judge. But what is most important to me is that you remember to love yourself if you can. I know today's world is very hectic and there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, it's kind of depressing, but we have to soldier on, and the best form of rebellion is to love yourself and be happy. I got slightly soapboxy. Anyway, bye!